When seasoned Victorian explorers marched into the heart of the Amazon, they didn't lose their minds to the suffocating heat or the malaria. They were broken by a sound, a constant subterranean ticking. To understand why, you have to look at the world they left behind. The 19th century was an age of absolute conquest, fueled by the rapid rise of steam and iron. From the highly ordered, civilized streets of London, men surveyed the globe with absolute confidence. They believed human logic and heavy engineering had finally made them masters of the earth. Armed with leather-bound journals and delicate brass instruments, they set out to categorize and map every remaining blank space on the map. The deep Amazon was the ultimate prize. To the industrial mind, this sprawling green hell was simply another biological resource waiting to be tamed. But as expeditions pushed further past the familiar rushing waters of the mapped rivers, the environment turned actively hostile. The air grew perfectly stagnant, and the oppressive humidity pressed against their lungs like a wet, heavy shroud. We know this because of the blood-stained diaries left behind by the men who walked this exact route. These veterans documented an unnatural shift in the deep jungle. The screeches of canopy monkeys faded. The buzzing of insects died completely, leaving an absolute dead silence. Then a new sound replaced the wildlife. A low, rhythmic thumping echoed up through the mud, vibrating directly against the soles of their heavy leather boots. This ghostly metronome, beating beneath the ancient roots, defied the laws of the natural world. It was an artificial rhythm, vibrating through a place that should have been silent. Driven to intense paranoia by a pulse that literally shook their canvas cots at night, the men began to dig into the dark, wet earth to find the source. They found thick roots wrapped around impossibly smooth, buried iron. The horror escalated above ground. When an explorer swung a heavy machete into an ancient mahogany trunk, the wood did not splinter, it sparked. The internal anatomy of the Amazonian trees defied biology. The living bark was completely fused with inorganic materials. Embedded deep within the wood grain itself were metallic shavings and long, continuous threads of copper wire. The forest was bleeding metal. The flora functioned as an extension of the engine itself, a living layer of bark and sap, feeding copper and iron into the dark soil. There is a sharp, divine irony in the fate of these Victorian expeditions. These men came from an empire of industry, seeking pure, untouched nature. Instead, they walked directly into an industrial nightmare, far older than humanity itself. The psychological breaking point came when these seasoned veterans began to fear the ticking of their own pocket watches. That delicate, artificial rhythm became a haunting reminder of the massive, grinding teeth directly beneath their feet. The deeper they marched, the louder the ancient gears roared. The ground grew physically hot, boiling the thick mud in patches, and releasing bursts of steam that smelled heavily of rusted iron and ancient oil. They were microscopic parasites crawling across the gears of a titanic engine. Eventually, the jungle claimed them. One by one, entire expeditions simply vanished, swallowed completely by the clicking, whirring abyss. Only a few men managed to drag themselves out of the green canopy and make the long voyage back to London, but they were permanently changed. They spent their final days locked away in city asylums, desperately covering their ears to block out a sound no one else could hear, screaming about a great machine hidden in the dark. For the public of the 19th century, these stories functioned as a chilling warning. They provided proof that the borders of their empire ended where a much older power began. We still carry that same hubris today. We continually build our own machines and systems, eager to maintain the illusion that our logic makes us masters of the earth. The Clockwork jungle strips away that illusion. It reminds us of our own profound fragility. And the Amazon still guards its deepest secrets entirely undisturbed, hiding under a vast, unbroken canopy of heavy green. If you go there today and press your ear to the wet, dark soil, you will discover that the earth does not breathe. It belongs to something older, colder and infinitely more powerful. It ticks.